Achieving restaurant prosperity, which is freedom of your restaurant and the financial freedom you deserve, isn't possible if you don't take care of the basics first. What are they? Stay with me and I'll share them with you in just a moment. Hey there, Restaurant Pro. This is Dave Scott Peters, restaurant expert, coach, and creator of the Restaurant Prosperity Formula. And today we're going to go back to basics. Your 2024 guide to running a successful restaurant. And that's right, I mean the basics. I often talk about the hierarchy of restaurant business like this. It starts with Restaurant 101, which is hot food hot, cold food cold, clean, safe work environment for your guests and employees, wow customer service, incredible product. And now today, to go and delivery. The fact of the matter is, you need to deliver on great hospitality. That's what we were put on this earth for. And that is our priority. Without being a great restaurant, who cares about anything else? Next come checklists and cash controls. This puts in place our ability to impose our will without being there, to ensure things are done our way to our standard. It ensures that every penny makes it to the bank. See, these are critical. Because if I can't get people to follow, say, those two simple systems, how can I get them to take inventory or do recipe costing cards and really care? And then finally come the restaurant systems for controlling all aspects of the restaurant. There's a system, a process, a way to doing anything and everything in your business. Let's look at each of these in a greater detail, well, as your guide to restaurant success. So number one, again, Restaurant 101. Remember the hot food hot, cold food cold? Well, here's the deal. You need to have systems like line checklists, prep systems, ordering on par levels, and systems for labor and scheduling and staffing guides to make sure that you're taking care of all the basics. You need to ensure you have someone trained and working, the wheel when it comes to your kitchen or expo to make sure all the ticket times are right and you're organizing the flow that the guest has the best experience possible. You need to ensure you have great staff training in place, not just follow that person. Here's your training system that people are tested, that if they don't pass day one test, they don't go to day two, and so on. So when they hit the floor, they're ready on their own. See, when most employees do the most damage to your business, it's when they're alone. They no longer have a trainer over their shoulder. You need to ensure you have a manager or supervisor scheduled on every shift. I don't care if it's quick serve where that manager is working a line position during the lunch or dinner rush, or it's full service and it's a plainclothes person walking the circle. Your manager is critical to helping make sure your guests are being taken care of, that the kitchen doesn't fall down, the bar doesn't fall down, you name it. They're walking that circle, ensuring everything is working. Number two, that next level is the checklists and cash controls. You need to start by having an opening and closing side work checklist for all positions, including your management team. Kind of redundant, fits in both those sections, doesn't it? You want to make sure you put your checklist on steroids, though. See, all too often, I often talk about, again, the importance of checklists because they ensure accountability. But the way to do that is easy. I'm going to suggest you contact my friends at jolt.com, JOLT.com. They're an online checklist system among other parts of their app. I, in fact, purchased a subscription for my members for their first year with me. All of my members. Because the Jolt checklist system is the gold standard to making sure things are getting done. Now, if you have server banking, as a full service restaurant, I want to make sure there's no rounding up, rounding down. If that server report says they owe you $323.23, I want exactly that. I want $323.23. I can tell you that if they give me $323.25, I'm not giving them their change. They can go to the bar drawer, the cashier, whoever it is, and give me exact change, but they cannot short me. Why? Because we're going to ensure the money that's made goes into the bank. If I allow people to round up, round down, just get close, then I'm teaching them to steal, that you make so much money, you don't care. You need to implement and review your DSR tracker every day. A DSR tracker in my world is that POS system, the end of day report, putting it in a spreadsheet, or in my case, a Google sheet, to make sure your numbers balance and that we have a number that we can track. We can track our gross sales, our accounts payable, our discounts to know how much money we should be putting in the bank. And then we do the other side where it's the cash, the MasterCard, Visa, and any other forms of payment you have to make sure we know what should make it to the bank. Then we override it with what we're taking to the bank, not just what the POS report gives us our overshort. Now that overshort should match my servers being over or my bartender over under $5 per set of hands in the drawer. Whatever that number is, I can verify it makes it to the bank. That's critical. You need to review the following POS reports each and every shift. Your comp report, your void report, your transfer report, and your no sale report. These reports make sure your money is your money and it's not being stolen. And finally, the third step again is the restaurant systems in that tier, right? Where now we went to Restaurant 101, then we went with checklists and cash controls. Now we're at restaurant systems. While this list is really lengthy, too lengthy for this video, here's a short list of what, you need to have in place to put you on a path to success. You've got to have a restaurant budget. Again, if you've been following me for any length of time, you can find videos on my YouTube channel where I talk about the importance of budgeting. Budgeting is critical. The two most important systems any restaurant should have are budgets and recipe costing cards. You got to have daily admin systems, which include sales forecasting, which include the DSR tracker I've already talked about, an invoice log, a paid out log, and a manager log that set you up for tracking for all of your other systems. You need to implement 3 systems that I'll guarantee drop your food costs 2 to 3 points. That's the key item tracker to prevent theft, the waste tracker to stop dumbass mistakes, and the restaurant checkbook guardian to put your managers on a budget that you can give up ordering without giving up your checkbook, giving them a limit. Here's your budget. You can spend, say, $500 more, 1 penny more than that. You cannot place the order without asking me for permission and telling me what went wrong and what you did to fix it. Really powerful stuff. You've got to implement 2 systems for controlling labor cost. That's the restaurant payroll guardian, which tells my managers not only how many dollars they have, but how many hours they have to schedule next week to proactively schedule on budget. Then add to that your scheduling software and my labor discrepancy finder to make sure they schedule on budget with accountability. That's powerful. You got to have a monthly budget variance report. And this is for your budget. Oh, remember that budget? Well, we measure each line, see where we hit or missed. What systems do my managers not use? What do I need to hold them accountable to, retrain, put in place, change the plan? What if they use the systems and I missed my numbers? What new systems do I put in place? And train my managers, hold them accountable, and change the plan. That which we measure improves. You don't have any KPIs, key performance indicators, that mean anything if you don't have a budget. You got to document your core values. Your core values are who you are as a person, but they often match how you want your restaurant run, right? You want your team to make decisions based off your core values, not their own. This is important. And then you got to have a detailed organizational chart. Michael Gerber, author of the E-Myth Revisited, talks very much about it. By having an organizational chart, you create bright line of clarity of who's responsible for what. And that's often important in running a successful restaurant. And when you're ready to really go to the next level, we can start going to a weekly prime cost budget variance report, recipe costing cards, weekly inventories, ideal versus actual product usage analysis, dollars per labor hour worked analysis, training systems for every position, and much, much more. Look, if you want to learn more about my coaching program and how I can give you all of these systems and more, go to davidscottpeters.com, click on the link in the upper right-hand corner, which says, watch my free video series, and opt in today. Be sure to join me live every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific time on YouTube, travel schedule permitting, where I'll get you pumped about the upcoming weekend, get you excited about crushing your goals and finding the motivation to be best you possible. Plus, I'll answer your burning questions live.